Okay. So this topic tonight was inspired because I listened to a podcast on my way up to Spokane by the Model Health Show. And here I've got the link. I'm going to put it in here so everybody can listen to it. If you haven't listened to the Model Health Show, he's fairly technical, but really great backed information. And just where the heck is the chat? Why am I'm like, seriously, why
Should be
can't
next to participants.
Oh, right there.
Vacation brain.
I'm like, my brain is dead already today. So, okay, here we go. But he's just really great. And just know the first probably 5-ish minutes is going to be him selling something. He always talks about either some mushroom tea or some other supplement, whatever. I just kind of try to get through most of it. And then there's also another ad somewhere in the middle. But this show, let me look. I can't remember. Let me bring it up here to see what the name of it actually is. Okay. The truth about body fat, calories, and long-term weight loss. So I just found this call really interesting. And because there's so often we're calorie focused, right? Or people just talk about the calories of things. You know, we now have food that's 100-calorie packs. Everything's about the calorie element. And what I think he does a really good job in this podcast of going through is there are other, what he calls epicaloric controllers. You can use that one on somebody, right? There's 6 epicaloric controllers that he talks about that influence what those calories mean to your body. So it's really, I want to like preface this with, I don't want this to feel more complicated. I want this conversation to be just information that helps you make sense of why we would look at the quality of our food, why we would want to better our microbiome, why we would want to do some of these things that will then affect how we digest, how we take on calories, what the calories mean to our bodies. So I don't want it to feel like, oh my God, now I have, past calories. Now I got to worry about this and this and this and this. That's not really what it's about. So, the calories they're like this guide. And I kind of came up with this analogy on the plane that made a lot of sense to me, and we'll see if it makes sense in translation for you guys. So when we look at things that are calories, right, it's a measurement. It's a way for us to kind of gauge something. So think about if you have to go walk a mile. A mile is a measurement, right? It's a distance we're going to go. Now, if you had to walk that mile barefoot, that's different than walking in shoes. If that mile is a rough road and uphill, that's different than a flat road. So there's these influences on what happens in that distance of a mile, but it's still a mile. Same with calories. Foods are assigned calories, but they're not all the same. Those calories can be absorbed differently by us. There's different way, the burn rate, whether or not we store it. There's just all kinds of influences on there. So the calories, while it's a measurement and it's a starting place, it's not the whole story. It's kind of like our weight too, right? Not the whole story. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about, he has these 6 epicaloric controllers that we can kind of go through, like what they mean, things that influence how you deal with calories. And let me think. I had one other thing on there. I got to do my notes here so I stay on track. Oh yeah, like one of the things along with calories, like people, there's a lot of diet culture pieces with calories, like the 1,200 calorie thing people talk about, like, okay, if I'm going to lose weight, it's just 1,200 calories, right? So he talks briefly about it in this podcast, but he talks more extensively about it in another podcast. And it came from this woman in the early 1900s. Let's see, I wrote down her name, Lulu Hunt Peters. she was studying that foods had calorie counts, right? Like if you ate 100 calories of bread, you could eat there's 100 calories in other foods, just that the calorie is what is the measurement. So when she wrote this book, she talked about no longer thinking of foods as foods. You think of them in terms of calories and what they mean to your body. And during this process, she discovered that if she ate 1,200 calories, she maintained her weight. And so then that became like her base, right? That was kind of, if I just do this, then it doesn't matter what I eat. Like I can, this is where I stay. And that's kind of where some of that idea came from. Plus the fact that she also popularized feeling hungry associated with dieting and weight loss, so that you should be hungry. But there's being ready for your next meal, and there's being chronically hungry. And she was in that chronically hungry category, right? So this 1,200 calories probably was not even fueling her. And so some of the things we're trying to change right now with our health esteem conversations and with body is we're giving ourselves the calories it needs to function well. And you can still be in a weight loss bracket to do that. You can be in a maintenance bracket to do that. It's the quality of what we're doing. It's that we are trying to have everything running at an optimal level versus just having such a low calorie that the weight comes off. The weight loss can be a side effect of doing really great things for your body, but it doesn't have to be the primary focus, right? The primary focus that we're going into on health esteem is really feeling well, giving our body the things it needs. And all of our nutrition plans do that. They go into that, focus on it. So just some ideas there. I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts about that? that you want to say out loud now?
Whoa, that was a lot.
I know. Yeah. I mean, we're going deep. We're just diving right in.
We're going, woo. So I feel like I would need to rewatch what you just said to digest it a little more, to even make a comment on it. But I know that at times when do you can we stop and push
Can we just
play
replay?
and re-listen?
Yeah, can we back it up? Yeah.
Can you give us a one word or a one sentence synopsis?
I'll put the cliff notes in there.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So what I kind of gathered was that if I'm eating 1,200 calories, that may or may not be enough food to fuel what the activity that I'm doing in a day, even though my mind might be telling me I have to be at the 1,200 calorie level to lose weight. That's kind of what I'm gathering. Did I understand
that's
that correctly?
Totally true. And that's something we can have in a whole nother call, right? Like there are several influences on how many calories you're burning that you may not pay attention to. Like if you're a person that never sits, it's called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. If you're a person that's just, you have got to be wiping down the counters, moving stuff, putting stuff away, doing the laundry, whatever, you're just always going, you are going to be burning more than someone else who's sedentary, yet you could be the same weight, you could be the same size, and it's assumed you're in the same calories, right? But that's not matching up with your lifestyle for sure. And that's like, yeah, that's a whole nother even call. So yeah, but that's not even, that's not even part of what we're covering today. So, because there are a lot of outside influences that can gauge it. I think what I really want people to understand from this is our quality of food really matters more than just the calories. And we're so driven in this, weight loss is being in a calorie deficit. So I don't want to negate that. You do need to be in a calorie deficit. That's just thermogenics. You need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. But like the calories you're putting in matter toward all that.
Mhm.
So you could be eating 1,200 calories of Cheetos and things are going to go differently than 1,200 calories of whole foods.
Mhm.
You're going to feel different. You may put, like you may still retain some fat, who knows, from the Cheetos. Like it may not, your body systems may not be burning through things in the same way. I don't want to find out what happens on the, 1,200 calories of Cheetos, but the point being, it's different. It's different. So let's talk about that. So he has these epicaloric controllers. So these are the things that he feels, these are the things that affect this calories in, calories out. So number one, he had the type of food matters, right? Cheetos versus, some other kind of carb, brown rice, right? Something with fiber, quinoa. The way, number two is the way the food is prepared. Like as simple as spinach. When you eat spinach raw, your body digests it differently than spinach cooked. That's not saying that's good or bad, but think of these like how it's prepared, diversify how you're having it. If you're a spinach eater, have some of it raw, have some of it cooked. The more you can change things up, you get those different nuances in nutrients. Does that make sense? Like if you can, if you cook something, it's different. Hi there.
Hello.
And so then number three is the thermic effect of food. So that's the actual digestion of your food. Like, so when you are digesting food, you're burning calories to work that food through your system. Protein takes the most calories to process through your system. So if, depending on like that's a small thing, but it is still a calorie burn. If I remember right off the chart, that's like I want to say it's a 10 to 15% of your calorie burn. It's a smaller percentage. It's not quite like a workout, right? Where you can induce a calorie burn that's, more substantial. But it does matter. So if you're like, one of the things I was reading about, like if you're having to chew your food a lot, you're going to burn more calories than if you're drinking your food. Okay. So just think about that idea. Like the more it's already processed now that's why Recover is an amazing protein for after your workouts, because it is processed in a way that you can get it quickly. If you had a steak after your workout, it's going to take longer to get the benefit of that protein into your system, into your muscles. So these are all things to think about, not to complicate it. Okay. The digestive efficiency. I thought this one was fascinating. So he was even talking about like the length of your small intestine, or the lengths that your body has the ability to absorb calories and nutrients as it's going through. So every person is unique, right? We are all slightly different. So depending on your digestive efficiency, how your body absorbs things, how well it absorbs it, what your saliva makes up, is that starting the process in an efficient manner? How much acid you have, all of those things contribute to the calories absorbed, the nutrients absorbed, all the things, right? Number 5, which is a big one that we all know, and that's your microbiome. So if you have lots of good gut bacteria, then you're likely breaking down the food to get that nutrients out. If you have a lot of bad bacteria or not diverse bacteria, then you may be missing nutrients as it goes through that channel. It may not be breaking it down in the way that you need to get everything out of it. So, that like and again, everyone is totally unique in that sense. We're all snowflakes on microbiome, where you've traveled, foods you've eaten, where you were born, where you live now, all of those things matter to your microbiome. And then the last one is he talked about a brain gut connection and the hypothalamus. And he didn't go into detail on this, but I feel like I need to do some study on it, because he talked about inflammation of the brain and how that can tack on 100 to 200 calorie less burn in your day because of inflammation in your brain, but he did not go into detail. And I'd really like to learn some more about that. So I need to look through his podcast to see, and I think he probably talks about it in Eat Smarter.
You mean what causes the inflammation in the brain?
Exactly. Yes. What causes it and how you can change, reverse, affect it, would be fascinating, because he said he feels like it's something that nobody really talks about, but it is something that is affecting us. So one of the things he talked about is the studies out there, basically, as your microbiome gets less diverse, like, so the lower amounts of what's the word I'm looking for? The less types of bacteria you have, as that goes down, as your microbiome is less diverse, weight and insulin resistance goes up. And so, as we talked about with Gut Protocol and the study about the 30 different plants, right? Like, that was the signal that people would diversify their microbiome. That's exactly what he's talking about too, making sure you're diversifying the foods coming in. So if you're only getting red peppers, expand your horizons to red, orange, and yellow, right? Or green. I mean, nobody likes green, but anyway, so, but
I don't.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you, like with the spinach, if you cook things in different ways. So if you're have some raw beets, sometimes have some roasted beets, cook things in different ways and have different colors, types of food, because what one of the studies he talks about in this podcast too is, that the hunter-gatherers of these indigenous tribes, their microbiomes were crazy diverse compared to ours. They were having like 200 different plants a week.
Wow.
They were just and it
Wow.
was seasonal too, right? Like, so with the seasons, they would change what was available. And so they were eating all the things they could. And, we definitely get into this cycle of, what you make, how you make it. Yeah. So it's really, so I think the biggest takeaway, what I would love people to take away from this is, instead of really panicking about all the things that are affecting it, just think about, how can I introduce something new this week? Can I have one new vegetable this week, or one new fruit, or one new plant in some way, right? Let's try one new plant this week and add it in somewhere. And that's a really simple thing to do, but that's like, changing that affects so many of these other things. And that's what's really awesome. It's not like we're going to have to spend, whatever time and mental energy on all those things. If you're switching this one thing of doing, diverse plants, diversifying your food, that helps in these other arenas.
So when you say plants, what do you mean? Like a different green?
Right. I mean, anything that literally grew at some point, right? Rice. I mean, that can be all your grains. It can be any kind of herbs, fruit, vegetables, green tea. I don't know, like, help me out here. Whatever, they're coconut. I don't know. Any kind of anything that grew.
Nuts.
Nuts. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because when we started Gut Protocol, I remember we were all like, wait, is that a plant? Because when, we're used to counting just vegetables, right?
Yeah.
We're like, all these things are plants. Quinoa.
That's what I was thinking when you said plant. I'm thinking a new kind of new dandelion.
Well, even
That's a
like
plant.
You could have
like
dandelion.
tofu.
Yeah, you totally could.
You totally could. Beets.
Well, and
Potatoes.
then like sometimes I think, okay, so like there's like, speaking of beets, how often have you taken your beet greens and had those? Right?
I throw
There's
mine
a
away. I
whole
don't know what to
ton
do
of
with them.
nutrients.
Put them in the
wouldn't try it.
salad. Put them in the salad, or treat them like spinach and saute them
Yeah,
up.
I
or put 'em in
saute 'em,
your
and they're
stir fries.
delicious.
Yeah.
I would
Really
just
good.
recommend
Mine
put
are
them in a
always
big
so
watery bowl
gross.
and soak them for a while, and then move them around, because they tend to grow in really fine sand. And so you just want to
Yeah.
make sure you
Oh.
really,
That's
same with
yeah, that's
Shaw.
been my experience.
Yeah, so you gotta really soak them for a little bit.
Okay.
and let that dirt fall down, like kind of rustle them around, let the dirt fall down, rustle them around. But they're so good.
Hmm.
Well, even the different types of radishes you can have, you know, I had
Exactly.
that black radish last night and it was so freaking hot, but it was so
Yeah,
good.
where did you find a black radish?
My little store here in town is some farmer in Eastern Washington grows them. So they get all their vegetables from
Wow.
Eastern Washington. And so, yeah, they had rainbow radishes, black radish, and then the regular radishes that were like this big. They were huge.
Man,
Yeah. So, but again, that's a different type of radish that I've never
Exactly.
tried before, never had. And, you know,
So that's all I really had to say about the calories in, calories out thing. I think it's just so much more important than focusing on the calories is focusing on how you're fueling yourself, what food you're choosing, and noticing how you feel on it. I'm right. I mean, that's what we all learned over the last year is that we really do feel different on different foods. There are just foods that maybe don't work for us, and there are foods that really do. And adding in that diversity makes your meals more exciting, can make your meals more colorful. It really benefits in so many ways. Any thoughts on any of that? Anything that you'd want to add for calories in, calories out?
no, but I tend to get in that same rut of making my baked Brussels sprouts and my baked cabbage and my baked shishito peppers with whatever meat I'm having. So I need to get out of my rut.
Right.
Make sure I'm getting lots of different vegetables.
Yeah, I think we all do that. Because there's things you know how to make and you know how fast it's going to be and you know what you're getting into. So then you're like, I'll just make that. But
Yeah.
it is a little fun to get into things you don't know how it's going to turn out, or trying your black radish and, finding out it's really hot.
it's definitely something I've never seen or heard of.
I don't know if everybody we get candy cane beets too. They're like red and white circles. They're only certain times of the year, but I don't know if everybody gets those too, but get those. They're super good.
Well, and the orange beets and the
Yeah, we have those most
I
of the
like
time.
the golden ones.
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah,
golden.
I like the golden ones. Those are our favorite. They're sweeter, less earthy.
Yeah. We like to pretend like we're dying after the purple beets because your poop's purple and you don't know what.
And so are your
That is so
hands.
true.
Yeah,
everything
yeah, exactly. You
else.
look like you've murdered someone.
Murdered somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the oh, sorry. One of the things that I started doing last summer, which I'm doing now, is sprouting.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that way I can add sprouts to my shakes, to my salads, to my soups, which is kind of cool because then I'm getting a little extra something different.
Can you kind of run through what that process looks like what you bought and what you do? Because I'm curious how the whole little system works.
Oh, I'm so new at it, but I bought these trays. They were probably 8.5 by 11 ish. And the first thing you do is you soak the seeds overnight. Some of them are different. And then I just sprinkle the seeds on the tray and basically just make sure they have water and light.
So does
That's
the
it.
tray
Some of
have
them are
like a
different.
sponge, or is the tray
No,
just
the tray, it
flat
has
tray?
holes in it. It has holes in the tray. So you sprinkle the seeds on top of the tray. It's a double tray. And
Yeah.
then the water is in the bottom. So as they start to grow,
Okay.
the roots are going into the water. And I've tried a couple different ones. My favorite is the sunflower sprouts. Those are my favorite. I don't know what they just taste, and they're kind of cool. But I was just doing this. I was looking at buying some seeds for broccoli sprouts because I want to try those.
Those are the
They're
best.
okay for
I
me.
love
They're a
those.
little bit strong. I usually
Are
love
they?
get broccoli
They are.
sprouts.
They're spicy.
They
They're
are.
spicy.
They're a
No.
So
little-
they are? Okay.
Really?
They're not bad.
Mine were not. Mine
Oh,
were
the
not.
ones we get are spicy. Like
Yeah.
I
like
get
it's a little bit of spicy hot though is what I mean.
Oh,
But not,
Yeah,
not
no.
super hot.
mine are
Yeah.
not. I got my seeds off of Amazon.
That's where I got mine from before, and I
I
have a
can
whole bunch.
Send you a link on it.
Yeah, do. But yeah, they're,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
it's just
send you
kind
the
of
ones that I
fun
got,
because
so maybe it's not as spicy. Cause yeah,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not,
I
I
love
don't,
that during the ultimate reset when I'd just have a thing of sprouts sitting there and I'd just clip some for my salad and throw it on and there's another plant.
yep. Yep. So that's what's
Also-
nice, and I'm gonna. Mhm.
mine was different than that. And all I did, I have a sprouting jar and
Mhm.
you would let it soak. You would, get the seeds and then you would let that soak overnight and then you drain the seeds out and then you would set it in a dark place that was cool but not warm because over the summer, like where I set it, it doesn't work. They go bad fast.
Oh,
Because I set it underneath my sink. And I
Oh.
have it set so that it continues to drain throughout the day. And then every day I rinse it. I think I only rinse it once. It's been a little while since I've done this, but you rinse it once, you rinse the seeds, and then you have to be gentle though, because the more you agitate them and break them up, the more it'll injure them and cause them to go bad faster. But so
Mhm.
it takes about 4 days. And I mean, like, I would have an entire big jar of sprouts.
wow. Okay, because yours were just laying in
Yeah.
a jar and they would just kind of grow around each other. It's not like they were on a flat
Yeah,
thing.
they
and
would
just go
grow.
up.
Yeah, no, they grow up
Yeah.
inside the jar.
Okay.
It's a glass jar and the lid has like a strainer on it. And you just have the strainer, as long as you have it, propped so that it can continue to drain, it does its thing.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
fascinating. I think I need to order something. I want to try this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy
I just think
easy and
it's.
it's so much
Yep.
cheaper than if you buy them.
Oh yeah, I mean sprouts are
Like,
expensive.
yeah.
And if you get the one
Oh
like
yeah.
the ones that were growing were usually about $6 or $7 for me and it was just like, a square.
Mhm.
And then the ones that are in the plastic, they're already cut, right? So then it's like
Yeah.
once you open that, you have like a couple days probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lettuce has always weirded me out when they're packaged, right? Because just like you never know how long you have, and then all of a sudden they're brown and slimy and everything's over.
Mhm.
But yeah. And that's like those are $6 or $7 too. And it's like you hope you can get through them fast enough to get
Yeah,
to
so
the
this
end.
container, this bag of broccoli sprout seeds is $6.
Right. And
Oh,
that's gonna
see,
get
that's
And
pretty
I mean,
cheap.
that
sprouts for
will
the
give
year
you,
probably.
no, not quite that much, but I mean, it'll give you several rounds of making sprouts. It
Yeah.
depends. It depends on how much you're making.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay. We could have
Yeah.
a sprout growing club.
It's kind. We could. It's just
We
fun
could-
though, because like you said, it's like you're getting that extra something, extra plant on
Yeah.
your salads or whatever you want to put it in.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just a great, like you could put it in a wrap, you can put it on your salad. They're just a nice little extra little crunch.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
too. Yeah.
Oh no, she just sent me the
I just
link.
sent her the link.
I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, and I do get the non-GMO ones. So, because you can get ones that don't say non-GMO on them,
Right.
and they're a
Makes
little bit
sense.
cheaper, but it's like
Yeah.
I will get the non-GMO. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm assuming they're organic seeds.
What does it say on them? It just says non-GMO, 100% seed produced and packaged in the USA.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna order them because we'll give it a try.
Oh, and they're trying to give me a different style.
So
Interesting.
I'll order 'em now. Within 2 weeks, all our garden sprouts will grow.
That's
for
right.
Weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We can start putting all the pretty pictures in the nutrition group.
Yeah,
Oh, there's the
this
jar.
is the jar. Yeah, so it's pretty big.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this sucker would be full. I
Wow.
mean, it would be like, upside down. It would be like to here with sprouts. And I mean,
That's how we made ours growing up. Was it?
it's a half
I should say
gallon.
my mom made them that way, just in the jar.
Okay, so do they go bad fast? Cause like it's just me. Like if I start growing
Well-
sprouts, how often are they gonna die before I eat them? Or am
They
I gonna
last,
constantly?
I don't know. They last
But
in
you know
probably
what?
like
You
5
could
to
freeze
7
them.
days, but yeah.
Yeah, freeze them
I
and
don't
put them
know.
in your smoothies.
Well, or
should-
you just don't do as much. You just do
Right. Yeah.
or-
You could
yeah.
do less, refrigerate them.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was doing it for like I was doing it for 3 of us basically because Jacob liked them too and Scott would use them. We were using them in our microgreen salad every single day. And so, yeah, we used a bunch like every day.
Hmm.
But yeah.
So they
Awesome.
regrow and you're able to use those same seeds for quite a while?
No.
Like
No,
the
just
seeds
that's
turn
it.
into a sprout, so then they're
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you
Okay.
just keep
The
putting
seeds
new
literally
seeds in.
open up. Like each of the seeds opens up and like
Sprouts out.
what is it? Releases the shell
Sprouts.
and sprouts
Yes.
out of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about with the old calories in, calories out idea?
Was kind of funny that you said that because Lily and I were just talking about the drink that she used to drink when she would go to Hawaii. And it was that and she was like, how much? Like it was a juice. And you wouldn't think like how many calories you're consuming in a drink.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
would
yeah.
be very easy for you to get 1,200 calories of this juice and be like starving probably.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Oh. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Well, and one of the things he doesn't talk about on this podcast, but there's a nutritionist here in Washington that I follow, and her whole practice is about helping people understand their blood sugar. And there's a lot to do with your calorie type that way too, because there are going to be foods that influence your blood sugar levels, and that therefore your insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity. And so that also matters in how your body's burning calories and what it's doing. Because there's such a broad spectrum. They assign foods a calorie, but they don't know if Sue, digests it and she takes 50 calories from these almonds, or I take 75 calories from the almonds and Joy takes 100 calories from the almonds. It's because we're all diverse in what's happening and what our absorptions are and all that kind of stuff. So it's that's why like solely focusing on the calories just may not get you to that happy place that you're looking for, right? It's also about food quality, the types of foods, how you're feeling on things, and you taking all of that data and information and helping you with your plan. It can be a great place to start. Like I've always said with Portion Fix, whatever category it puts you in, it's a great place to start. It doesn't mean that's where you should stay. And it doesn't mean that's where you should be in general. It's a place to start. You start the program, you're on it a couple weeks, you're seeing how you're feeling. But like if it's too much food or if it's not enough food, either way, it's okay to modify, right? Change your bracket to fit what's working best for you and where you feel your best at. So does anybody have any labels or anything? I haven't, we have that free group starting next week, and we'll go through some like how to read label type of information and just kind of looking for those secret sneaker
Yeah.
stickers and whatever else they're trying to put in food.
Well, that's what's I mean, it's not food, but I was watching American Greed, and talking about being sneaky. That was the problem with Juul, because this week's episode was about how those people made all that money off those Juul vape.
Oh, the
Yeah.
vape pens. Yeah.
And they said that how they were getting around it was like in the really minute label is the nicotine part.
Ah, so
that's
it
how
made it
people-
look like it didn't have nicotine?
Yeah, and that's how they were
Wow.
getting people and
Mm.
especially kids addicted, and that's where they got into all that trouble. That everybody was getting addicted to it because they were hiding that one little
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, and I
they
mean,
were like,
yeah, like on
"Okay."
labels, our food labels, they get a 20% allowance on
Mhm,
what they put as calories.
mhm.
So,
And
and
ingredients.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
If it's
Mhm.
too small, then they probably don't have to list it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's
And
why it
now
doesn't always say sugar sometimes because it's less than 2% or whatever it is, and yeah, doesn't list it.
right.
But see, I didn't even what Beverly's talking about. I didn't even know how bad it was for me because I didn't even know about sugar. So
Right. Yeah.
Pog is probably one of the worst juices you could ever have in your life.
which one?
Pog.
Oh,
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the same thing as all the people that go to Starbucks and they get those
Yeah.
drinks. And I know people that'll hit Starbucks more than once in a day. And it's like, well, then you've had all your calories.
Yeah.
Even
You don't
just
need
start,
anything
Oh,
else.
and
You've
like
eaten.
probably 5 times your
Congratulations.
sugar allotment for the day as well.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean-
we rarely do. We used to treat ourselves to like Starbucks like once a week. Now we can't even tell you it's like once every how many months.
Yeah, well, like when we all did gut protocol and people were going and getting their matchas, right? Oh, it's matcha. It's going to be healthy. It's great. And then it had like what, 34 grams of sugar per drink or something? Like,
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
Hmm.
no wonder
Dunkin'
it tastes
Donuts,
so good.
Dunkin' Donuts had even more though.
Yeah, I remember
It's like
that.
56 grams of sugar in one drink,
Oh my God.
which is way
Wow.
more than your allotted amount in one day.
And then now you've had all those calories, but your body still hasn't gotten the nutrition
Yeah.
it wanted, right? And so you're probably still going to be hungry or at least have some cravings or, something happening there. And then that's when you have excess calories and you have some storage. But, it's like that's the whole idea of figuring out like feeding what your body wants, and then you do have less cravings. You don't necessarily want those things as much or as often because you're more satisfied.
The thing is though, if you don't have the nutrients, does your body even actually burn the calories?
You mean, or does it just, well, it's got to, I mean, it's burning or storing. It's hard to that's the other thing, like you don't know per body what it's burning too. I mean, it depends on your physical activity. It depends on your efficiency and your digestive tract. It depends on a lot of things, your microbiome. So it's like, you don't even know, like we could both have the same drink and burn it differently. And
But, like-
store it differently. Like we could, if I'm insulin resistant, I will store more of it
Yeah.
rather than get rid of it.
Well,
Some
I
people
guess like
get rid
for
of it.
me, I got to find out for sure, because like if you're gluten intolerant, your body doesn't absorb nutrients.
Correct. Yeah.
So basically your body, even if you're getting the calories in, I think it looks that you're starving.
It may, and it's hard to
So
tell. It
that's-
also depends on your insulin thing too. Like if your body's choosing it to go as storage, like we're going to need this later, or if it's choosing just to get rid of it, like that unneeded. So it's a by person
Mhm.
type thing.
For one person, they can be skinny, or like me, I can't lose the weight, but I can more easily gain the weight.
Oh
Right.
my-
So
I'm gonna have to look into that more.
That may be an insulin resistance thing too. And so then if you can like correct that, then you're reacting to foods differently too. Or
Well,
it
like
could
I
be-
know if you don't get your nutrients in, because like that's what gluten basically at this point, because I've gone so many years, gluten kills the little cilia that are in your stomach that absorb all the nutrients that you need. And that's where I'm having the problems. Like when I get tested, it's like my body doesn't take in enough iron or zinc or a lot of other things because my body can't.
Hmm.
I got to see exactly how that.
You do, because even putting more of those foods in doesn't make your body absorb more of it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like just increasing them changes it. You
Yeah.
have to like somehow help your body be able
And the
to-
problem is, as far as I know, once the cilia has been killed, it doesn't regenerate.
Oh, I have no idea.
So
Yeah, no idea.
something
I mean,
I-
that's what Autumn was going through, and how all the gut protocol got created
yeah.
is she was not absorbing nutrients. And so her blood work would show that she was not getting,
Mhm.
her blood levels to where they needed to be. And yet she was still eating the same way. And so
Mhm.
then it's a series of going through, and like I'm sure she was forcing in some probiotics to have that bacteria there, but it was also making sure that there's food there to support those new things she's put in, and to make sure that the good bacteria is being fed and can hopefully propagate.
All this is giving me something new to think about. Well, because even when I went on the iron pills, my iron levels changed a little bit, but it's still not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd definitely be worth looking into that gluten part of things, right? Like, how can you help reverse your ability to absorb again?
yeah, like I said, because as far as I know, once those have been killed, but science could have changed since they said that.
Yeah, I don't know in that area, so I can't comment, but yeah. All right, any questions or anything anybody wants to talk about?
I guess what's tomorrow?
Yeah, what is tomorrow for our Funky Friday?
I don't know.
Who's looking? I can tell. Who's
I'm
gonna find
trying.
it first?
Wig.
Oh, we
Huh?
have to like fun hair day.
Oh,
Is National Big Wig Day.
All right, bring your big hair wig.
I don't have a wig.
Well, just you do the filter.
You've got
oh,
Filter
I,
hair.
do.
Instagram
I do.
filter, yes.
You have a big wig,
I
Sue?
have,
All right.
well,
wait to
does it
see
have
it.
to be big?
No,
Well,
So I have
no.
two. I have
Any
two
kind of
wigs I
wig.
can wear tomorrow.
I think I have
this'll be
purple hair I
fun.
can wear.
Oh, I don't have purple
Like it.
hair. I'll give you two different versions. We'll see which one
Perfect.
you like better.
I'll just use my hair up.
And then we've got the meal prep class on the 5th. This will be, let me ask you guys how you feel about this. You can be my voting committee here. So I was tempted to be like kind of snacky because the Super Bowl's coming, and then people, we could try these out and then you could make it for your Super Bowl friends. So right now I have a chicken satay with a peanut dipping sauce. So that's just like a grilled chicken with a peanut dipping sauce. I've got bell pepper nachos, which I can't remember if we've made those before. And then to go with that, a black bean hummus to go with the nachos. And then for our dessert idea, the chocolate caramel brownie Shakeology Muddy Buddies. So that's just kind of a snacky, but you could do it with chocolate, or there's also cookies and creamy Muddy Buddies on the blog too. I don't know. What do you think? Keep it appetizer-ish or go more meal?
I like the appetizers.
I like the appetizers.
I personally like that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll do
Good
that.
thing
Then
you
everybody
mentioned
can-
it
I'm
though.
just
'Cause
excited to
that's-
try something new, so it doesn't really matter. to me.
Right?
Yeah,
I know. Then
me
everybody
too.
can try some new things and bring it out for their Super Bowl parties or whatever. We're having a Super Bowl commercial party. Because I don't care who's in the Super Bowl this year. It's not my team.
Exactly.
Not
I
my
don't care
team either.
either, so
I just hope they all have fun.
I just hope it's a good game.
Yeah.
I don't have any hopes.
I hope the commercials are good.
That's true. I'd rather watch the commercials.
I don't watch the game. We just generally will make the Super Bowl snack Sunday, you know.
There you go. Well, perfect. You're gonna have plenty of recipes to try out. So we'll do that, and that'll be the 5th. And yeah. Anything else anybody wants to chat on?
I have a question. So I have, oh, you can't see these, can you?
Not
No.
really.
It's blurry.
Oh,
we go.
there, wait, kind of.
So they're individual, high protein super snacks. They're little bags.
They've
like
got all the
this.
buzzwords on
Hmm.
them. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I know, totally. Yeah. So high protein super snack, edamame. So it's edamame.
Uh-huh.
And that's, I think edamame and sea salt and soybean oil are the ingredients. And it's 100 calories for one little tiny bag, this big.
So are they dried edamame? Like what
Yes.
is this, a bar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's
Mm.
like
No,
the-
it's individual
dried.
little beans, basically.
Okay.
So one container is 4 grams of fat, 1 saturated fat of those 4, 6 carbs, 4 fibers, 2 sugars but no added sugar, and 11 grams of protein.
okay.
So what would you call these?
Well, I believe, I mean, they like you to be between 12 and 20, I think, for a red. So you're kind of on the just on the edge of that. And then I don't know if 4 grams of fat in that type of serving size would be enough for a teaspoon.
So like a half a teaspoon ish?
Maybe, yeah, or yeah, maybe it's like so like a red, it's like a red light and a teaspoon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because it does have 11 grams of protein and you know, the 6 grams of carbs to 4 fibers is, you know, excellent, obviously, but yeah, I just was
And are they
curious.
dried? So they must be
Yeah.
like dried. Yeah, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, they're
What's
dried.
what was the fiber on them?
4,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Alana says, track it and see what you think. See if they're worth it.
Well, I was looking for things that I could take to Piper's volleyball game that I would want to eat that
Yeah.
would give me some extra protein. So these are snacks that, since we're gonna sit there all day Sunday, so.
Oh, fun.
I have to say, I used to make when Jack has track meets, I would make a Mediterranean salad. That was with quinoa, and that was so good because it could just sit room temperature, and I just had it all in a little thing, and it was so yummy.
Yes, but I can sneak this in my pocket and I can't sneak a salad
That's
into
true.
the
Do you have to
gym.
sneak it in?
Yes,
Oh, you're not allowed to have other food there? Oh, well, that's
No.
lame.
no, well, you're
Can't
not allowed
you,
to have any food in the gym at all.
No, that's
Mhm.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so I made a quinoa salad the other day and put it in a Ziploc bag and stashed it in my backpack to fly home. And I ate it on the plane. Can you do something like that where you just put it in a Ziploc bag and stash it in your coat pocket?
no, because I'd have to take it out and eat it in front of everyone, which is literally sitting right next to you.
On
No.
a side
We're
note,
going-
though, I have a recipe for you. It's the quinoa. You do egg and quinoa muffins.
Oh, okay,
And
that'd be
with
good.
a
Oh, there you
grated
go.
zucchini.
Sounds good.
Yeah, with a grated zucchini in there. And you can do cheese or ham or whatever you want. It's on the blog. But those
Okay.
are so good.
Okay,
So good.
well, yeah, I could eat those before I go in.
Right. You could just shove a couple in, right? And then head
Yeah.
in, and then maybe you need to get some
Yeah.
out of your car.
No,
At this point.
yeah, you
Shove
can
a
go
couple
out
more
in between. Go out in between games.
Go
Yeah.
in the bathroom and eat.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I spent
Gross.
all day at those band competitions, and yeah, you're not supposed to take stuff in, but we would just eat outside.
People do.
Yeah. Then you
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
be like, what do you want me to like pass out? I don't think you want that on your hands.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah. So
No,
I would
I'll
be
just-
like, yeah,
Yeah,
eat out
this
there.
is just for snacks at the game. We would go and eat something somewhere like we did last
Yeah.
time. So,
Yeah, no, we were at those things for like all day. Like,
Yeah.
leave in the morning, don't get home until the middle of the night.
yeah, we'll be there from 8:30 in the morning until probably 6 at night.
Well, I'd say make some quinoa muffins and stash them in your car. Just go out,
Yeah, and I,
Mhm.
go out and get some
Yeah.
snacks,
Sounds perfect.
yeah,
have your meals
I'd
out
have
there.
snacks. I'd have
I was
snacks and
gonna get
lunch.
zucchini the other day, but oh my lord, the cost of zucchini went up here.
Oh, did it?
Oh
What do you
yeah,
have to pay?
it was like almost $3 a pound.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Holy cow, Mom. I'm gonna jump off.
Okay.
All right.
Yep, I think we're good
Oh,
anyway.
Picture.
Yeah.
Picture. Okay.
Take a
Oh,
picture.
picture.
Everybody get up here. Ready?
Picture.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
Oh,
Okay.
hopefully, Brent,
Bye,
hopefully
guys.
your the hand in front of your face, Brenda. Sorry if I did.
Oh, yeah, Brenda, your hand's in your face.
Okay, let me try it again. Ready?
Say it
Big
again.
cheese. Okay. Everybody's clear.
All right.
Okay.
There we
See y'all in the morning.
All right, ladies. Yeah, we'll see you in the
Bye.
gym.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
great night.
go.
You too.